Hello everyone, this is Anil Thomas and welcome back again. In the previous video, we talked about different types of autofocus system in a DSLR camera, and today we will go through one of the systems called face detection autofocus system. So just to give a little bit of recap from the previous video, when the light comes through the lens, there is a small mirror set up here in 45 degrees angle. This mirror reflects a light upwards and the light comes through the viewfinder for you to be able to take the photos using the viewfinder. And the mirror not only reflects the light, also it lets a little bit of light to go through, which means it's a little transparent as well. The light that goes through the mirror will get reflected by another mirror which is right behind the main mirror, and that mirror is also set up in this direction, and that will reflect the light towards the downward portion of the camera. And the face detection autofocus system is basically kept in the bottom of the camera. So the face detection autofocus system basically consists of a set of AF sensors and set of micro lenses. Before we jump into the technical details about the face detection autofocus system, you basically need to understand what a focus point is. A focus point in your camera is an area where the camera can accurately focus at. When you look through your viewfinder, you can see tiny square boxes or dots kept in the form of small matrix, and each of those boxes or that particular dot is termed as a focus point. And when you buy your camera, I am sure that you must have seen the number of focus points, and you must have bought the camera with more number of them, even if you don't really understand how they work, right? A focus point in your camera is consisting of set of AF sensors and set of macro lenses. So as I already explained, the light that gets reflected by the secondary mirror towards the face detection autofocus system, that light falls on to a matrix of this kind of small boxes. The same way how you see in your viewfinder, that's the same way how the photo of the focus system is also kept in your face detection autofocus system, which means the focus points are kept in the same way or in the same structure. And if we just take one of these points, what they contain is a set of micro lenses and a set of set of AF sensors, as I already mentioned. So the light that comes from the mirror gets split into two beams by these two micro lenses, and they send it towards the AF sensors. So what happens is the lights from the extreme sides of this micro lens falls at the center of the AF sensor. Then the system then that means that particular area is focused properly. And if the lights do not fall at the center of the sensor but in a different area of that sensor, then that means that if that portion is not appropriately focused. So if you really want to focus that particular box, then the AF sensor sends a signal to the lens to move around the lens elements to appropriately focus that particular portion of the image. So that's how one focus point works. So what I just explained is a very simple focus point, but you need to understand there are three types of focus points. One is based on the arrangement of these AF sensors, we can classify them. One of them is horizontal focus point, where the AF sensors are arranged horizontally, and the next one is vertical focus point, where the AF sensors are vertically aligned, and the third type is called CrossType focus point, where you will have one set of horizontal and one set of vertical focus point in one focus point. So this is how the focusing basically arranges. You need to basically understand how your focusing is aligned. What I mean is you need to know where your horizontal focusing points are, where your vertical focus points are, and where your cross-type focus points are. In case of vertical autofocus point, what happens is rather than splitting the light horizontally, the light gets split vertically, which means there will be two micro lenses in vertical direction and they will be split into two beams, and the light goes to the AF sensor. So the AF sensor will then be able to determine the lights which gets passed through the lenses. The micro lenses are appropriate, I mean they are identical. So if the light beams are identical, then the cameras sends a signal saying the focus is obtained by either blinking that small box in your viewfinder or giving that small beep sound. If the light beams are not identical, then the AF system sends a signal to the lens asking it to adjust the lenses for obtaining the right focus. So that's about the vertical focusing. And the next kind of autofocus system is called CrossType autofocus point. The CrossType focus point is nothing but a combination of a horizontal AF point and a vertical AF point. So the downside of horizontal and vertical AF points are basically they are one-dimensional. You will not be able to accurately focus an image where there are straight lines, I mean vertical lines or horizontal lines. So if you try to focus a horizontal line with a horizontal focus point, you will not be able to focus it. And similarly, if you try to focus a vertical line with a vertical focus point, you will not be able to focus it. So the CrossType focus point that accurately measures the horizontal as well as the vertical dimensions of the light, and it determines whether the image is in right focus or not. So the CrossType is considered as the most accurate AF point. So you need to make sure that you need to make sure that your camera has a large number of CrossType autofocus points. Also, when you start using your camera, the CrossType focus points are almost kept in the middle of the image, not in the sides, because sides will have either vertical or horizontal. So you need to be aware of the layout of your autofocus points, the focus points in your camera. The more CrossType points, the more accurate your camera will be. And for example, here in my D850 there are 153 focus points, out of which 93 are CrossTypes, and in my 7500 there are 53 focus points and around 15 are CrossTypes. So if there are more number of CrossType focus points, which means your camera can be used for wildlife and the action photography, where the CrossType or the focus points help to detect the movement and the fast moving objects very accurately. So that helps in wildlife and other action photography. There is another kind of focus point called dual CrossType focus point. So that's a combination of two CrossType focus points, where a normal CrossType focus point looks like this, and what it does is it takes one more CrossType and kept it in this diagonal position. So this makes sure the images are not diagonally the image is diagonally optimal and accurate. So I'm not going to take through that because I don't think most of the cameras have that feature. Anyways, it's something that you can find in Google. So that's all about the focus points, and thanks for watching this video.